Alright, let's talk about real quick how we can get more tail with our two-seam fastball. And for the purposes of this video, I'm defining tail as arm side run. So if you're a righty, the ball is going to move into a right-handed batter. If you're a lefty, the ball is going to move away from a right-handed batter. So how do we get more tail on our two-seam fastball? There's a couple things you can look at when you're seeing if you can get a little bit more tail on your two-seam. The first is going to be your wrist angle. Some guys can get out and get extended out in front and still have some pretty good tail on their fastball. But the guys who are going to pronate just a little bit, so they're going to turn their wrist in a little bit, we're going to lead with their pointer finger, they're going to be able to get a little bit more tail on their two-seam, okay? The second thing you want to think about is the arm angle, okay? Guys who are going to be a little bit higher are going to have the tendency to get more arm side run or tail. Now guys who are a little bit lower are going to get some sink, which is not a bad thing ever. Sink is not a bad thing. But for the purposes of this video, we're trying to get arm side run. In my personal opinion, sink is better than arm side run or tail. But for the purposes of the video, again, we're talking about getting more arm side run or tail. So that's the second thing you think about is your arm angle, wrist angle and arm angle. The third thing is going to be your grip. Guys with natural four-seam tail, they can throw, they have natural four-seam tail on their fastball, but that's a four-seam. So first of all, if you're not getting tail on your fastball, try gripping it as a two-seam. Okay, so that's a two-seam, but also try putting your fingers together. When your fingers are together as opposed to apart right there, when they're together like that, you're able to get, not only are you able to pronate a little bit more, you're not only are able to pronate a little bit more, but you're also able to throw through that side of the baseball. So that'll give you more, you'll be able to have more tail on that. So try that, see if that doesn't help. And the last thing is going to be the rotation of the ball. Pitches work for the, I almost wanted to say the arm speed, but it's not necessarily the arm speed or the speed of the pitch, because you've got nasty knuckleballs that move a lot, or split fingers or fork balls and stuff. Those are slower pitches that have not so much rotation. But we're talking about rotation in the sense of a fastball, getting the rotation spinning on the axis, that's going to create the movement out that way. So the best way to do this, like I said, that's why guys with four-seam fastballs sometimes have natural tail, because they're getting all four seams running this way and taking the ball to tail out. So the more you can get that rotation on the ball, even throwing the two seams, since we're specifically talking about a two seam, if we're getting here, throwing the baseball and it's coming off here, that's why it's going to be spinning. It's going to be spinning that way, and we're trying to get the laces to help cut through the air and get us that two seam tail. So those are a few quick things to look at if you're trying to get more tail on your two seam. I hope that helped. Leave me some comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the website, ugoprobaseball.com.